Today we're going to be talking about a snowflake radial design in art. And a radial design, we always think about symmetry, where if I had a zoop line down the middle, it would be the same on one side as it is on the other. But in a radial design, instead of just being the same, it's going to be symmetrical also, but it's not only going to be the same on this side and this side. Every piece of this circle is going to be the same. And quick fact, a radial design is always in a circle shape. And we talk about how we can find a radial design in nature by slicing open a lemon or an orange or a lime or a grapefruit. You see those pieces of that fruit in spaced equally apart in a circular design. And we talk about man-made objects like a wagon wheel or things like that. And also in nature, it may be a flower, a center, and then the petals around it can be the radial design. Radial designs almost always have at least 6 sections and sometimes more than that. So today we're going to make our snowflake knowing that there are 6 sides to that snowflake and that they all come to a center point and then radiate from that center point, thus the radial design. And I also talk to students about sometimes we can think about this as like a pie or a pizza. If this was a pizza and I had a black olive slice right here and I put it right here, then I would have to do that same thing on the same spot on all of my pieces. So I'd add one here, 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 and here. So all 6 pieces would have that black olive slice right down here by the point. Now, if I had some pepperonis, I could put 2 or 3 pepperonis up here, and I would do that on each piece. And then I would think about maybe 1 slice of a mushroom in the middle. And if I did it right there, then I'd have to do it in that same spot all the way around. So we just have to think about it, not just symmetrically, but every section is the same. So in a radial design also helps us think about snowflakes. And I'm going to today, like I showed you in this, I drew the lines so you could see the sections. I'm going to take a coffee filter, and some coffee filters are a little bit smaller than this, and that is okay. Or if you don't have a coffee filter, you can trace something like a coffee can or something that is round, a plate or a paper plate. Paper plates are a little too thick to cut for snowflakes. You might want to try it, but they're a little thick, but you could use it to trace a circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this coffee filter and I'm going to fold it in half. So now I have a half circle here, and then I'm going to think about sections of 3 sections. So I'm going to fold it in 1 section, and sometimes you just have to play with it a little bit to try to get all 3 sections the same size. And I want to make sure that I don't overlap inside that fold. And I want to make sure, so I didn't overlap, that was pretty good. Sometimes I go too far or not enough, so you have to make sure it's just right so that then when you fold this last section, the fold line also lines up over here. So now I have 6 sections folded in my coffee filter, just like this one has the lines drawn in it so we can see those 6 sections. So now I'm going to fold my coffee filter one more time so it's easier for me to cut my design. Try to get that point. So I am going to cut some sections out of this coffee filter so that I can make my snowflake. When I was a kid and we had a snow day, my dad would show us how to make snowflakes, and starting with a rectangular piece of paper, it's a little bit harder. You have to turn it into a square first. I find that it's really, really easy to show kids how to make a snowflake if you start with a circle and then fold it. Okay, so I'm cutting away some triangles, but I don't want to make my little sections any smaller than maybe a pencil or a finger space. Because if you get too tiny, then sometimes it rips or the cut gets close together and it falls apart. So I just want to be very careful cutting away sections, but not cutting away too much. But the more you cut away, the more intricate it looks and more like a crystal it looks. It's very unique and interesting. So every snowflake that you cut is probably going to be a little bit different. Just like my dad used to teach me in nature, every snowflake is different. So this is what I have left after cutting. So now I'm going to open it and see if in fact I have something that looks like a snowflake. Sometimes it takes several attempts to make this. Ta-da! I have a snowflake. So when you get your snowflake done, lay it on something darker, not a white piece of paper, but something darker, and take a photo of it and post it to our Google Classroom. Nice job.